My name is Taariq Lewis. I'm the Director of Programming for the George Allen Black Law Students Association. George Allen was the first black person to graduate from this university's law school. He broke barriers for us, so we feel the need to honor him. George Allen was also accepted to Harvard and UC Berkeley. He was living in California at the time, but he chose to go to UF Law because he wanted to be the one to desegregate this university, and he wanted to go back down south to where the action was, referring to the civil rights movement. So he made a sacrifice for us. He did not have to go through the racial abuse that he did, but he did that so that he can break barriers for others. Use his bravery as motivation to make sacrifices throughout your career, to fight for the downtrodden, to fight for justice whenever you see it's lacking.
George said, I want to make sure that the University of Florida satisfies its goal of being desegregated and graduating an African American person. So when he came here, he walked into history. He said, I want to be a part of that movement. I want to accomplish that. And he did that by coming here and coming to this school. And by coming to this school, he opened the door for all of us. It's clear that I would not be teaching here if it were not for George Allen. He opened the door for me. He opened the door for all of the African American students who followed him. He opened the door for all the students who come from different backgrounds. He was not satisfied just doing what he was doing here at UF. He was active in the community. It was an activism that followed him all his life. I certainly will miss him. I know he will be missed. But I want all of us to remember George, remember the great things that he's done at this school, remember the great things that he's done throughout this country. We're proud of him. We respect him. We thank him for his leadership and for his example. And we're going to try to do the same thing that he did in his life, which is remember those who are behind us, reach down and grab them, and help them step up. Thank you so much.
Laura Rosenberry. I'm the Dean of the Levin College of Law. Upon the passing of George Allen, we've been reflecting on the fight to desegregate the University of Florida. And this display here at the Levin College of Law provides some history of that fight for desegregation. Virgil Hawkins first applied to the law school but was denied admission. In 1958, the University of Florida finally enrolled its first African American student. His name was George Stark. Unfortunately, because of harassment and intimidation, he was not able to graduate from the law school. We did honor George Stark with an honorary degree this past May, but he was not able to graduate with his JD. So George Allen enrolled in the law school the following year and made history by becoming the first African American graduate of the entire University of Florida, but also, of course, the first African American graduate of UF Law as well. And he leaves a legacy that is so impressive, not just with respect to desegregating the University of Florida, but for fighting for social justice here in Gainesville while he was a student, and then throughout the state of Florida as a lawyer. He practiced for 51 years and sadly passed away last week. We have a Heritage of Leadership honor, which is awarded only posthumously to our alumni, meaning after their death. And of course, this May, George Allen will be one of the alumni who we honor in that tradition. I was really heartened to see our Black Law Students Association take the lead in wanting to honor Mr. Allen in a more formal way. Our Black Law Student Association has been in existence for 50 years, and it bears George Allen's name. It's the W. George Allen Black Law Students Association. So I was so pleased to see them organize this event. We will also be celebrating the 50th anniversary of BLSA this March, and of course we will honor George at that time as well. George Allen graduated in 1962 from UF Law, so in 2012, upon the 50th anniversary, we dedicated a tree in his honor, a beautiful magnolia tree at the front of the law school, and there's a plaque describing Mr. Allen's influence and his historic role here at the College of Law. And I do hope students will walk by over the next few weeks and remember his legacy. George Allen was a true trailblazer, both here at the University of Florida and throughout the state, and we are honored to call him one of our alums. And I only had the chance to meet him once, but it was a lovely evening 3 years ago where he was continuing to practice law, continuing to fight for social justice, while also celebrating our students and the accomplishment of our alumni.